that I would include, and I want to help. I want to help you guys. And so it starts and it finishes with mindset. And mindset's interesting because it's the most talked about thing, but it's the least understood. And what you have to understand that what is preventing you from, if you're at $1,000 a month, what's preventing you from going to 10,000 a month is usually not just activity, but how you think about who you have to be, and your mindset. And so there's a couple things around mindset that I want to share with you. One, you have to have this mindset of that it's possible. Number one, that success is possible. You have to suspend your disbelief. I'm someone that I've been dead broke twice in my life. I went through foreclosure. I didn't have the greatest childhood, didn't grow up privileged at all, had a lot of abuse in my childhood. Went through divorce, went through foreclosure. Me and a partner bought into an advertising franchise for $40,000, and I literally didn't make a dime. And that's a real bummer, man. I wish I didn't have that story to tell. I wish I had that money back, right? And so when people tell me that network marketing is hard, well, the reality is all business is hard. And you have the same set of skills and the same set of activity that you do in network marketing that you really would do in any business. So if you run a restaurant, guess what? You're going to prospect. You're going to talk to people. Hey, I got a restaurant. You should come and check it out. I got this great, filet medallions. You should come and check out. And you're also going to market. You're going to put marketing for that restaurant in other places. Okay. You're going to follow up with vendors. You're going to hopefully come up with some kind of customer retention plan where you're communicating with people that dine at your establishment. And if you're not, then you're going to, you're missing out. There are restaurants that close every single day that don't even know their best customers. How many of you have had one of your favorite restaurants close down and they didn't even know you? I've had that happen. There's a couple of restaurants in my area that I loved them. And one day I show up, I'm all excited, and I'm like, hey, they're closed down. And you know what? They never even knew my name. And I've been there a million times. And so that's not smart business. So here in network marketing, you learn smart business, but you do it for lower risk and lower overhead than every other type of business. And so I got a buddy that has a restaurant, and the brick oven for pizzas cost him $80,000. And by the way, if you go and you want to invest, one of the people that were in our company, actually wasn't in my team. I bet Pete knows who I'm talking about, but wasn't in my team, but was in the company, owned 76 Domino's franchises. Remember that guy? Right? My man Tom. And so Tom owned 76 Domino's franchises. Here's two things about Domino's that you may not know. One, it's $250,000 to start one Domino's. Okay. And in the franchise agreement, it says plan on a 10-year return on investment. Let me translate that for you. So you put in $250,000, and that doesn't cover your pepperoni or your mozzarella. It doesn't cover the, welcome mat. It doesn't cover any of that stuff, right? 250 G's to get started. And they're telling you, hey, in 10 years, you should make that back. So do you realize that if you went around the country, around the world, and you told people, hey, join our network marketing company, and in 10 years, you should get your money back? Do you realize that even if it's $5,000 to start, which I don't believe it is, but if it was, you'd be a better opportunity than Domino's. Why? Less risk. Less risk. See, people they don't think about that. It's because they compare job, no risk, no leverage, no assets. You don't own anything. When I left corporate America, I couldn't sell my spot. Guess what? When I retired from network marketing, I did sell my spot. Okay. That was an asset. And so, you don't understand because you just look at job versus network marketing. Well, if that's how you're looking at it, then, you're missing some of the power. We know that there are people that want to make a little bit of extra money, and maybe not even a ton, but a little bit. The reason we know that is there's 750,000 Uber drivers in the United States alone, 2.2 million worldwide. They make an average of $80 to $300 a month. Now, do you think how many of them, percentage-wise, do we think they're just like, I just like to drive people around. It's just so much fun for me. I like to get out of the house. I just drive strangers around. I hope they're not, drunk and throwing up in my car or violent or anything like that. But I just like driving. No, they're doing it to make $80 to $300 a month. Don't you think they might be open to something if they could make that same amount from home using social media? I think so. It's just we have to be bold to ask them that question. We have to be bold to see if they're open. And oh, by the way, how many Uber drivers do they get to personally recruit and earn a percentage off of? That'd be none. Okay, when they stop their Uber route, are they able to sell? Of course not. So the gig economy is a trick. It's tricking you. It's a trick because it's upon further inspection, it's a job. You don't own it. You can't sell it. You can't go recruit. If I could recruit Uber drivers, dude, I'd have a fleet. And guess what? There's a little company that I like, at least, named Tesla, that is going to start taking their cars and allowing you to put them in an autopilot role and let them drive people around. Do you realize that? That's going to be a sales feature. You buy a Tesla, you park it at, wherever, you park it for the night, you set this thing on, and it goes and collects money for you. You think that's in the crazy future, the Jetsons. I'm telling you, it's closer than you think. So those 750,000 Uber drivers, I hope they have a plan B or C, possible. And so, but you have to think that way. You have to understand that if you want to have success in anything, you're going to have to put in work. And so I'll give you I'll give you a quick quote here. There's you may have heard of the actor Steve Martin. And Steve Martin, he was on this interview, and I just loved it. It was amazing. And they were asking him, he was sharing some stories, and he says, when I'm at cocktail parties, I have these actors and actresses always come up to me, and they're like, dude, Steve, man, what's the secret, man? How do I break through? How do I get, the best acting roles and everything? And he said something really simple. He said, be so good, they can't ignore you. Be so good, they can't ignore you. Now, here's what's neat about that information. Years ago, pre-internet, pre-social media, to be so good they can't ignore you, you would have to be running events. You would have to be renting hotels. You would have to be running events. You'd have to be buying lots of advertising in the paper and maybe the radio and TV and all these different things. Well, now you can be so good they can't ignore you right on social media and attract a huge following. We did. When I started, I didn't have a brand. I didn't have a big following. I was going from real estate to network marketing and was mocked the entire way. I had lots of real estate people say, oh, you couldn't hack into real estate, right? And I'm like, no, apparently not. And a lot of those people ask me if I'm hiring nowadays. And so that's okay. And so what I did is I put so much value into the marketplace that it attracted people to me that wanted to join my team, possibly, purchase products from us. And my wife, she built, at the age of 21, and again, we're not talking about health and wellness. We're not talking about lotions, potions. We're talking about exactly what you're doing. She built at the age of 21 a $10,000 a month income, 100% from strangers on Facebook. 100%. Her friends wanted to go out and do shots and party and go to the club. They did not want to build a business, so she had to go to strangers. She went to Facebook. She recruited financial planners. She recruited realtors. She recruited insurance people. She recruited professionals. And so we teach some of that different things. But I want to one last thing I want to share around mindset really is you don't know when you're going to create success. And one of our clients is a lady named Amy Murphy. And Amy Murphy had been in network marketing for 17 years. 17 years, long time. And you know what? Looking at her, I don't know if she joined when she was 4 years old or how, because she doesn't look like she's a battle-hardened 17-year network marketing person, but it looks pretty young. I think she joined when she was 4 years old. But 17 years in network marketing, she had made a total of $3,000. Which, unless you're new here, you know that you're not in network marketing for 17 years and you make $3,000, you lose about $10,000. Am I right? Going to events, buying the hats and the badges and the shirts and the coins and the whatever else, right? If you're in the business for 17 years and only make $3,000, you've only lost about 10, 15,000 maybe. She's now $1 million earner. think it bothers her that it took her 17 years? Does anyone say, you've made $1 million, but it took you 17 years to? Guess what? She has people in her, sphere, friends, family members, neighbors, not neighbors anymore because you change zip codes when you make $1 million. But unless you're Warren Buffett, he's the only person I know. But you change zip codes, so her neighbors she doesn't see anymore probably. But there were people around her that guess what happened? Those 17 years passed, and nothing happened for them. Those 17 years passed while they were making fun of her, while they were saying you'll never make it, while they were saying that's stupid, while they were saying, oh, it's one of those schemes, only the people at the top. You've heard all this, haven't you? Or else you're new to the game. You think she regrets all that? You think she looks back and says, yeah, but I sure got a lot of hatred. She doesn't care about that. $1 million earner. And so I don't know how long it will take you to create whatever level of success you're looking for, but I know if you keep going, you can get there. I know that. And I just want to point out that when I went, from the time I went full time, okay, 2005, April 2005 is when I left corporate world. If you fast forward 3 years, now think about this, 3 years working full time, I went from working, 9 to, 8 to 6, something like that, to 8 to 8, 8 to faint, whatever. And so I actually worked harder and more hours as a entrepreneur than I did in the corporate world, but at least I was, mainly at home. 3-4 years in, I'm in foreclosure. That's not a really inspiring story. And if my story ended there, then you would not be listening to me right now. I wouldn't, Matt wouldn't have said, hey, we'd really like to hear your story because we're a little happy and we feel we need some depression. That would not have happened. But if you fast forward a few more years, so when I went full time, and by the way, if you can't build this part-time, you can't build it full-time either. It's about utilization of time, not abundance of time. And so don't go quitting your job too soon. And there's a few reasons for that. We'll talk about that. But when I went full-time, 2005, 2006, 2007, 2008 is right. 2008, 2009 is right when, everything just collapsed. And so there I am, dead broke, $1 million in debt, chased by bill collectors, in foreclosure, went through divorce. Not great years. 4 years later, I had my first $1 million year. The year after that, doubled. Went from almost doubled. Went from 1.2 to 2.3 in 1 year. Took me 8 years of being full time, and during that span, I had foreclosure, dead broke, all that. 1 year to double. And so I don't know how long it's going to take you, and I don't know if you have those kind of goals. Maybe your goal is to make $1,000 a month. Awesome. I'm not the judge of your goals. Whatever goals you have is awesome. Go for it. But I can tell you, I don't know how long it'll take you, but quitting never speeds things up. And if you keep going, you can get there. Okay. And so the next kind of part that will lead us into prospecting and reaching out and that sort of thing, I want to be mindful of our time here, is posture. Over the years, I recruited a lot of people. And a lot of people. And I recruited a lot of recruiters. So in my, over the last, from 2009 to 2016, I had at least 4 people in my organization that had each recruited over 500 people each. Now, I'm not saying you have to recruit 500 people. You do not. I know people that have recruited 30 people and are $1 million earners. Okay. I'm not saying you have to, but if you have the opportunity to get a super recruiter, let's get them. Why not? And so I had at least 4 people that quite frankly out-recruited me. Well, I don't know if all 4 did, but all 4 of them had over 500 recruits personally. Okay. Here's the number one difference between them and anybody else: posture. So you hear this thrown around some, and what is this term posture? And to be honest, I'd heard it thrown around too, but I'd never heard an actual explanation of it. Like, what does it mean? What is the definition of posture? So for me, and this is our definition, posture is the belief in what you have, regardless of external acceptance or approval. The belief in what you have, regardless of external acceptance or approval. What's external? Anyone but you. That's external. Is your wife external? Yes. Is your neighbors? Yes. Dad? Yes. Mom? Yes. Every single person that is not you is external. So you know that you lack posture if you require acceptance or approval. And this is the killer of would-be successful entrepreneurs. So if you join network marketing company, you join, Mint Builders, and you go and you talk to your friends and family about it, and you hope that they agree with your decision, and you're reliant on them approving, agreeing, accepting your decision, then you lack posture. You don't understand posture. Posture is not who's going to, this is a quote from Ayn Rand, but not who's going to let me, but who's going to stop me. I'm going to build this with or without them. I'd love to do it with them, but I'm going to do it with or without them. And I would actually tell people that. And I would say it nicely. I'd say, hey, listen, are you open to take a look at what it is that I'm doing? If so, awesome. If not, no worries. I'm going to build it with or without you. I'd love to do it with you. See, I kind of softened it up a little bit, didn't I? And so, but I didn't require them. And that was very important. Some of you've bought, Boy Scout popcorn from your neighbor's kid. You bought Girl Scout cookies from your neighbor's, daughter, and you expect them to support you. That's not the way it works. People will support you when it benefits them. And if you rely on that only people that it will benefit, that see the benefit, will do it, and you're not entitled to them supporting you just because they're friends or they know you, then you'll have a much better career in network marketing. And so posture means that you can handle the heat. It means that you can take criticism, you can take skepticism, and you're not trying to turn them around. A lot of people, they'll say, I got this, my brother-in-law, he says it's a scam. He says I'm going to jail, and he says that I'm an idiot. How do I turn him around? The only reason you should turn him around is to kick him in the ass and tell him, why don't you go that way, okay? Stop trying to convince people who do not want to do it. Stop it. That is not posture. You see if someone's open, you move forward if they are, and if they're not, you do not. That's it. And so there were plenty of people that told me they didn't want to do this sort of thing. And I'm like, cool, all right. Do you know anyone that does want to make some extra money? I didn't require, and no one of all those, I told you about all those super recruiters, right? They didn't close everybody. There's no one I've ever met that just had the ability to close anyone they ever talked to. That doesn't exist. And even if it did, you would spend so much time trying to convince the person that doesn't want to do it. You could have talked to 10 more people and recruited way more of them than just that one person. And so don't become a convincer. Become someone who very simply sees if they're open. If they're open, you move to the next step, which for me was usually get them to watch a video, or sometimes it was invite them to a meeting. And so I want to rely on a tool, okay? And so when it comes to warm market, friends and family members, I am definitely a fan of seeing if they're open. I'm not a fan of chasing them. I'm not a fan of begging them, bugging them. I'm not a fan of trying to convince them, twisting their arm, saying you owe me because I helped you move in college. I'm not a fan of putting pressure upon them. I'm a fan of seeing if they're open. Why? Because, and I hope that you really get this part. One of the big reasons that I wanted to make sure I talked to my friends and family members about it and at least made them aware and at least made the offer is I knew I was going to succeed. I knew that I was going to make this thing happen. And I didn't want any of them coming to me and saying, hey, wow, you went and become successful. You went and made millions of dollars. And thanks for inviting me. Thanks for telling me about what you were doing. See, none of them could do that. I literally. And I remember when my wife and I got married, which was in 2011. In 2011, we got married. And one of the owners of the company, my friend Chris, so Chris was one of the owners, and Chris, like the week before, or maybe 2 weeks before, had been at his brother's wedding. And his brother had a position in the company. His brother, obviously was involved since the beginning of the company. And when he went to his brother's wedding, he couldn't find anyone that knew about the company. Like he's asking, like, hey, I'm sure my brother has talked to you about the company. And they're like, what are you talking about? His brother hadn't talked to anybody. He came to my wedding. He was unable to locate anybody that I hadn't talked to because I at least wanted to see if they're open, not trying to close it. That's the energy. Okay. I'm seeing if you're open and you're looking. I'm not trying to close you. If you aren't open, then I'm not going to try to close you. And so we don't really, in all fairness, although we call it this, we really teach sorting, not closing. Because closing would mean pursuing past their level of openness, which requires not just more skill set, but it requires a little bit of perseverance and a little bit of pushiness, which I don't like pushy. I don't know about you, but I'm just not a big pushy fan. In fact, if a salesperson is pushy on me to something I even want, I won't buy it from them. I'm stubborn like that. So if I want something, like I want that belt buckle, but they're really pushy on me, I'll go buy it somewhere else. I know it's a little weird, right? But I don't like pushy. I don't want to be pushy, and I don't want my people to be pushy. I think that's one of the things that harms network marketing, not helps it. And so when it comes to warm market, I'm just seeing if they're open. And so this is how I approached it. And you know, if you have a way that's working for you, definitely do it. But I'm going to give you two different scripts, if you will, that we have taught over the years that we suggest. And so one, because I will tell you that because this isn't a product that you drink real quick and have an energy high, because it's not something that has some kind of immediate satisfaction kind of thing, and it's something that not everyone understands, I tended to lead with the business. That's what I did. And I'm not saying you have to do that, but I'm just telling you what I did. And so I reach out to people that I know, and I would say, hey, I'm doing this new thing. I don't know if you're open to it or not. If you're open, awesome. I'll share with you some information. If not, no big deal. Let me know if you'd like to check it out. And so I'm just seeing if they're open. Now, they may ask me some different questions. They may say, well, what is it? And I'd say, well, you know what? I got a video, does a better job than I could do explaining it. I'm happy to send it over to you if you'd like to see it. I'm excited about it. And, that's how it would work. I would want to get them either to a meeting if you're running meetings, or get them on a video, because I want them exposed to a tool. And I'm even going to do something that is what I would call the fastest fast start that has ever existed in all of network marketing. It's pretty big, pretty bold claim, right? And so here's the fastest fast start. I would say, hey, let's say this is a video. I would say, hey, would you be open to take a look at what it is that I'm doing to make some extra money? If you're open to it, great. If not, no big deal. Now, did people tell me no? Sometimes people said no. Nah, man, I'm good. I'm focused on what I'm doing. Awesome. Congratulations. Do you know anyone that does want to make some extra money? See how easy that is? That's not difficult. That's not a 90-page script. Okay. But let's say I say, hey, would you be open to take a look at what it is that I'm doing? If not, no big deal. And they say, what is it? I say, what? Great question. I got a video. Actually does a much better job than I could do explaining it. Happy to send it over to you if you'd like. I send it over to them and I say, okay, now this video right here. Okay. Check out this video. And by the way, if you wanted to make extra money, all you would do is get people to watch that video. That's very powerful, because you're telling them how to build in the prospecting process. And so now the person watching the video, instead of looking at it like, do I like this video? They can't help it. A part of their brain is like, man, could I get people to watch this video? I feel like I could. I feel like I could get people to watch this. So like, they're not evaluating it as just a distant consumer. They're evaluating like, man, you know what? I think I could probably get people to watch this. Is this how he makes money? Wow, this is crazy. And so I wanted to get them on a video, period. And then I would follow up. Hey, what'd you like best about what you saw? I would listen to them. If it was negative, like what if they say this? What if they say, video sucked, bro. Terrible. Hated it. Okay. They think they're off the hook. They're not off the hook, because I have a question that is kind of fun. And I said, oh, wow. Oof. Wow. So I'm going to act like I've never heard. I don't care if the last 99 people told me the video sucked. Doesn't matter to me. I'm going to act like I've never heard that before. Wow. Huh. Did you watch the right video? Ooh, didn't like it? Whoa. All right. Well, geez. Okay. Well, what were you hoping you'd see? Why'd you take the time to watch a video? You could be doing anything. You could be, swimming. You could be watching Dances with the Stars. You could be playing hopscotch. You could be hacky sacky in it. You could be kayaking. You could be doing anything in the world, but you chose to watch that video. Why'd you choose to watch that video? What were you hoping to see? And I've never had someone answer in a way that was crazy. I've never had someone, well, I was hoping to grow my arm back from the war. I was hoping that I could, cure my insomnia from watching your video, right? No one's ever said anything crazy. They say something that you can solve. They say, well, I was hoping to learn how to make extra money. I was hoping to learn about, I've never had someone say something crazy. And I'm not saying it'll never happen. I just never had it happen in thousands and thousands and thousands of interactions. Never had it happen where they said something that our hands were in the air, right? They would always say something that we could actually help with or something they misunderstood. So I would have people say, oh, I was hoping you could do this as a single person because maybe the video shows a lot of couples. And I'd say, oh, you know what? That's a great point. My friend Keith is single and he actually does this as a single person. So you actually can. I'm sorry that, didn't convey that in there. I had people say, well, I was hoping we could do this part-time because maybe from their perception of the video, everyone's super successful and full-time. I said, oh man, actually most people start this thing part-time. Okay. And so I'm going to clarify, okay, because I'm at a huge advantage if they just watch the video. Huge advantage. Because if they watch the video, I know there's some kind of interest there. People don't just go around just watching, opportunity videos. Like there's something there. And so I'm going to ask questions. I'm going to find out why. And I'm going to edify whatever they're saying. I'm going to say, yeah, you know what? My buddy Pete does it like that. Actually, you know what? There's several people that do it like that. We have a lot of school teachers doing it. We have a lot of professionals doing it. Okay. And then I'm gonna ask them now if I could show you how to do that thing that you're wanting to do. Is this something you would want to run with? Just gonna ask them really simple questions, and not crazy. Now I'm gonna manage the posture. If they come back and they say, this is BS, this is terrible, and this is illegal, you're a horrible person, I hate network marketing, I hate MLM, I'll say, cool man, hey, no problem. They're not gonna get a reaction from me. I'm gonna say, cool, no problem. Hey, let me know if you know someone that does want to make some extra money. I got to run. I'm not trying to convince them. I'm not having the whole, well, if you look at corporate America, with that clear in it, right? I'm not going to do into that convincing, that me explaining or justifying. I'm not going to go there. I'm just going to mosey on down. Now, I've learned over the last 10 years that some of us, and I had some of this, some of us don't have a warm market. We have a burnt market, okay? So a burnt market is for that special person like I was, that has done a whole bunch of stuff over the years. So me, I have done juice, appetizer diet cookies, Aztec grain. I had done greeting cards, legal services. I had done berry juice. I had done all kinds of things, real estate, advertising. I had done 52 different things. And sometimes the reaction to my inquiry wasn't fantastic. And so I remember one person I reached out to and I said, hey, I'm doing this thing. And they asked me point blank, how long are you going to do this one? I'm like, that's not very nice. You're supposed to say that behind my back. And then I kind of laughed about it because what do I care? What do I care what they think? They're not paying my bills. What do I care? But I had people that threw me some shade. I had people that hated on it, that didn't like the idea. And so a burnt market is the person that maybe you've pitched a lot of stuff to and they just don't trust you. They don't trust you. And so this is the type of person that if you said, hey, if you hand me a $5 bill, I'll hand you back a 20 immediately. They'll say, nah, I'm good. I'm good. We're all good here. No, thanks. No, you understand. I hand you, right? Real simple. Nah, I'm good. So a burnt market is the person that is uber skeptical of you, uber cynical. And here's what you got to do with them. It's not enough to not pitch the opportunity. Not only can you not just not pitch the opportunity, you have to deflect the opportunity. They're immune to your money message, but they're still a consumer. And so here's what I did with people that I figured out were my burnt market. They just didn't trust me, didn't want to do anything. I still reach out to them, and I recruited some of them. I said this because they haven't heard this. I reached out to them and I said, hey, listen, I'm doing this new thing. I do not think it's a fit for you. I do not think it's your cup of tea. I think this is something, totally not your thing. but I think you might like the product. The product is actually pretty cool. And if you'd like, I can send you over a video, shares what it is. But again, not for the business. I know it's not for you, but I think you might actually like this product. And I would have people watch the video after I said that and come back to me and say, hey, I'm confused. About what? And they'd say, well, why wouldn't I do the business? And that's when I get to put on my best acting. I mean, I'm like Tom Cruise, all of a sudden. I'm like, well, I guess you could. I never thought of that. Okay. And so the point is, you have to get eyeballs on the presentation. If you want to make money, you have to get eyeballs on the presentation. And so you can look at a real simple question: how much money should I be making? How many eyeballs are you attempting to get on a presentation on a daily basis? If that answer is, well, Ray, I actually spend 8 hours a day studying, and I'm in the library, I kick my feet up and I read a bunch of articles and mainly listen to 7 hours of podcasts every day, then you should not be making money. And that's okay, right? Enjoy the education, enjoy the library. It's nice and safe, no rejection there, but can't make money. You can't make money in the library. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm not saying don't get educated, but you got to balance it. So when I mentioned in the very beginning that there were 3 elements of my daily method of operation, here they are. I had read a book called Go for No, which I don't have at my desk right now, but I had read a book called Go for No, and I'm like, you know what? This makes sense. Go for no. So I go and I collect no's. It's to decrease your frustration, your resistance, your energy around negativity. Right? And so I'm like, all right, I read that book. I'm like, got it. I'm going to go for 20 no's a day. So every day before my head hit the pillow, I got 20 no's a day. Now, the 2 questions people ask me is, well, dude, where'd you find those people? I want to just remind you that we're in a day and age where reach of people has never been easier. We're spoiled. We're spoiled like ridiculous. So in the 70s, if you want to get 20 no's a day, go to the grocery store and walk around. Right? Go to the mall. Good luck. Call from the phone book. Good luck. Now you can knock that out. And we've had people test our scripts. The best I've ever heard is someone in 15 minutes. In 15 minutes had asked the question to 19 people. That's the fastest I've ever heard. Now, I'm not saying to always go that fast, but that's kind of funny. Right? Now, they didn't get 20 no's, but they reached out to 19, I should say. And so we are now in the easiest phase of mankind to locate humans to talk to, but yet we're still frustrated and struggling with where do I find people? And so if you truly struggle to find people, I have a free audio. It's been up for quite a few years. RayHigdon.com, 29 sources of leads. You'll never run out of people to talk to ever again. But I want to give you just one tiny 2 examples real quick. Number 1, we had a guy in Sacramento, and he worked for a home builder, and his company, when the real estate was rocking, had 120 staff, people that were, employees. Okay. When the real estate crash happened, it shrunk to where it was him and one other guy. He's working 90 hours a week. He has 3 kids at home. Okay, it's my buddy Rob. And so, Rob Pete, right? Remember him? I don't know. But so Rob, do you know, he hit a high rank in our company. He hit now, I don't know for sure. I don't think he crossed $100,000 a year, but he definitely is making $2,000 to $4,000 a month, maybe more, maybe a little bit more. But I would say $2,000 to $4,000. Do you know where he got his people? When he's driving around in the company truck and he had to fill up the gas tank, he would look for a busy gas station. He wouldn't pull into the empty one. He'd pull into the full one. While pumping gas, he'd say, hey, how you doing over there, buddy? Hey, nice car. Hey, you got a second? This dude hit $2,000 to $4,000 a month from gas stations. Gas stations still exist? Yeah. Yeah, they do. But you got to be hungry. See, that's a concept that most people don't understand. They want, I'm a big wanter. I want this, I want that, I want that. But when you're ready to eat, when you're ready to eat the work, because the work isn't easy. It's simple. Are you open? Here's a video. right? It's simple, not easy. Here's a second story for you. Taylor, my friend Taylor. So pre-internet, pre-social media, so pre-TikTok, Ding Dong, MySpace, Facebook, all these other things, right? We don't got any of that stuff, okay? Back in the day, she's hungry, a concept very few people understand, but she's hungry. She goes to the grocery store. She loads her 2 kids into the grocery cart. She pushes it around the grocery store until she hits her prospecting numbers. She removes kids from shopping cart. She leaves. She doesn't even buy groceries. Hungry. Is that still possible? Can you still build that way? Last time I checked, you still can. But see, that's a next level of hunger most people don't understand. They want, I sure want the riches. I sure want the rank. I sure want the stage. Hungry? Different concept. Okay, so nowadays it's just easier than those two had it. Okay, and so you can find people from anywhere. And if you do struggle, RayHigdon.com, 29 source of leads. It's free audio. Get it, download it, listen to it. Second question people ask me is, well, what'd you take as a no? Which on the surface may seem kind of funny, but really there's 2 main categories. Are you open to taking a look? No. That's a no. Okay. Hey, what'd you like about what you saw? I hated it, and I think you're going to jail. All righty. That's a second category of no. So pre them seeing the presentation, post them seeing the presentation. That was a collection of no's. So before my head hit the pillow, 20 no's a day. Now, I won't even tell you to go get 20 no's a day because it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. It's simple, but why not get 2? Get 2 no's a day. Get 3 no's a day. 20 no's a day, less than 1% will ever do that. Okay, it's a lot of work. Tough. Sucks. By the way, I hate prospecting. Hated it. I hated it. It sucked. Okay, which leads me to the second step. So that's step 1. I went for 20 no's a day. You go for however many no's you want. Or maybe you don't even like the word no. All right, you're like, that's negative, bro. All right, fine. Go for connections. Go for questions. Go for how many people are you asking if they're open. Second part of the Dave method of operation, because I hated prospecting, I dreamt of a day where I would do enough marketing that I would generate leads to come to me. And so on July 15, 2009, I decided to start doing at least 1 video a day. And I've done that every day. For 10 years, I've done at least 1 video a day without skipping. Did I do it on my honeymoon? Yes, I did. Did I do it on my wedding day? Correct. Did I do it on Christmas Day? Yes. Every single day since July 15, 2009, I've done at least 1 video. Now, some days I've done quite a few. I've done 5 or 6, but every single day. And when I started, nobody was watching. See, some people won't start because they're like, I don't got a following. What do you mean? You require a following before you start putting values into the marketplace? That makes no sense. Why would you have a follower? What would they be following? You thinking about doing a video? No. I had to start from scratch. The first 6 months, I mean, I'm certain that at least half of my views were from Mom. And she's like, you're doing great, sweetie. I'm like, thanks, Mom. Right? I'm not getting any views. I'm not getting any leads. But because I kept the pedal down on the days I didn't feel like it, on the days where I'm not getting any results at all, days when it doesn't make any sense, it literally, you do 6 months of videos and not 1 lead generated, you need your head checked. But I kept going anyway. I kept going when it didn't make sense. It lacked all logic. If you fast forward 2.5 years in, I was generating over 3,000 leads a month without ads. Now, I know people that generate 3,000 leads a month, not without ads. They do ads. I was generating 3,000 leads a month from all the videos that I had put out there over the years. I just kept piling them on, putting them on YouTube, putting them on Facebook, putting some on when I still had a MySpace account. I think I still have a MySpace account, actually. I should probably check it. But, putting them on Twitter. I recruited a former $1 million earner that argued with me on Twitter. I wish I would have archived it. He's calling me out. He's saying numismatic coins suck. He's saying what you guys do is a scam. I recruited that guy because I just started talking with him. I started dialogue. We got on the phone. He joined the team, recruited about 30 people. That grew into, I don't know, maybe 100 or so, something like that. He didn't crush it in our business. I'll be honest. It's not how it always works. You hope for more sometimes. Sometimes people surprise you. Sometimes they don't, right? But hey, I'll take another 30 people. I'll take another 100 people. Why not, right? I recruited, people from Twitter from seeing my videos, from YouTube, from Facebook, from Instagram was kind of got popular after my building days. So I don't think I ever recruited anyone from Instagram, but I could now if I wanted to. Could now provide value, follow up with them. Simple, very simple. But you have to be consistent. And so that was part 2 of my daily method of operation. 20 no's a day, video a day, every day. Sometimes it was about numismatic coins. Sometimes it was about the grading systems. A lot of times it wasn't. A lot of times it was about mindset. A lot of times it was about sales or marketing or parenting or whatever, right? I wasn't so addicted that the topic had to be exactly, in a certain particular niche, but I got them out there. And the third thing was development. So every day I did some kind of self-development. Now, over the years, that's changed. With resources comes better access to knowledge, okay? And so just this past week, I finished up, I got home on Sunday, but just this past week, I won't talk about numbers, but I dropped a lot of money to go through a speaking bureau, to go through a speaking organization to improve speaking, right? Always looking to improve. And I think you're about to meet my daughter. I hear her. She just got home from school. But might get crazy in here. But I invested. So in the beginning, when I was broke, dead broke, $1 million in debt, in personal foreclosure, I learned from YouTube. I learned from free resources. I went to the library, right? As I started making money, I would buy a course here and there. As I started making more money, I would hire coaches. I would join masterminds. And we now spend a very ridiculous amount of money on coaching, on masterminds, et cetera, and so forth, because that's what we preach. So why wouldn't I do it myself? And I find that there are people that don't do what they preach. I'm not one of them, because to me, that's the fastest way to improve, is not just to learn from your own mistakes that you stumble in the dark with, but to learn the wisdom of others. And so, there's a gentleman out there, some of you may know, Grant Cardone. Earlier, or actually last year, it's now been 1 year ago, I hired him for 6 one-hour sessions for $100,000. That's $17,000 an hour. Why did I do that? Because this guy is running a very large company, is very smart, and is leveraged and built a much larger business than I have. And so I want to learn, right? Teach me, tell me. And to get that kind of person's attention, you got to drop some coin. Now, I'm not saying you have to spend that kind of coin, but if you want to speed up the process, you may want to invest in getting around people that have been there, done that, people that have, have some wisdom, have some knowledge that may help you on your journey to make it faster. Cold market, okay? So with cold market, what is often taught is not what works, okay? So it's very popular for people to tell you got to build trust, you got to build rapport. Well, the problem with that is building rapport works very well for offline. If I'm at a cocktail party, hey, what is it that you do? That's pretty normal. For me to message someone I do not know on social media when I can message anyone in the world, what do you do? A little strange. And so what happens is the non-distinction of understanding the difference between offline, online, cold market, warm market. The problem is that, and just think about yourself to know if I'm saying the truth or not. All right. So someone messages you and they say, you have a beautiful family, and you don't know them. What do you think? Are you just like, thanks, bro? Or are you like, what do you want? How can I help you? What's going on here? Isn't that accurate? Isn't that how you think? That's how I think. And so I prefer people, and so does everyone else in the world. I prefer people to just get to the point. Hey, hit me with what you got. You got something for me? Tell me about it. Now, I'm not saying spam a link. I'm not saying ask for my credit card or social. We ain't ready for that. We're not even dating yet. You haven't bought me a drink yet, right? And so but just get to the point. And so we teach very duplicatable, simple scripts that is designed for the person who's the tow truck driver, the mattress salesman, the shoe salesman, the person. And so there's a few things people are thinking when you reach out and they don't know you. They're wondering, do I know you? That's real simple. What do you want? And why me? Why are you reaching out to me? And so a very simple thing that the only person this you should not do this with is another network marketer. And we don't teach that. I'm not a home wrecker. So if someone's in another network marketing company, respect, right? Keep rocking it, brother. Keep making it happen. I don't prospect other network marketers. And I know that there's an incestuous, thing in the network marketing space. I just think about all the people not in network marketing. There's a lot more of them. And so let's respect them. Let's respect our fellow sisters and brothers that are on their network marketing journey. Let's not prospect them, because this approach won't work with them, because they've been brainwashed to think that you got to build trust and rapport. So you have all these automaton droids that are building trust and rapport for 6 months at a time, never getting to the point, never making any money, but they've been brainwashed to think that's the process, right? And so instead, I would reach out to people and I'd say, hey, I know we don't know each other. I see that you're in Sacramento. I'm looking to expand my business in Sacramento. Would you be open to take a look at a way to make some extra money? And if not, no big deal. Answers all three in the first message. I know we don't know each other. I'm not trying to be shady, right? People is like, hey, I'm your fan. I hope you're doing well. I think some of them are trying to pass by you. That, do I know you? Like, I don't know, right? I know we don't know each other. I see you're in Sacramento. I'm looking to expand my business in Sacramento. Would you be open to taking a look at what it is that I'm doing to make some extra money? If not, no big deal. So what exactly is offensive? What turns them off? How dare you, sir? Is it that I was straightforward with them and said we didn't know each other? Is it that I pointed out why I'm reaching out to them because they're in Sacramento? Is it because I told them what it is that I'm looking to do, which is expand my business? Or is it that I said it's okay if they're not open to taking a look? Which one of those is offensive? Which one of those is a real turnoff? So to network marketers, if you're doing that script on network marketers, they're going to, network marketers, they like to eat their own. And they like to let's bash other people that approach in a way that I don't like. And so they'll bash you. They'll probably screenshot it, look at this jerk, right? We have people, and I'll give you two quick examples. Danielle Tobin has been in network marketing for 20 years, struggling, frustrated. She joined our group, Rank Makers, and in the first 5 days got her first recruit in her career. She had been trying to build rapport for 20 years. She got her first recruit in the first 5 days by following that script. Deb Smith had been in network marketing for 5 years, got her first customer the first month of being in Rank Makers. Do you think she's happy? Do you think she's excited? And so we teach things very simply, because if they're not simple, then you're going to have so much duplication. I cannot rely on you having some vast business knowledge or vast knowledge of sales or marketing or have gone to persuasion college, right? I can't rely on you being an influencer, because there's only 2 to 3% of the population that have any influence at all. I have to assume you have no influence. I have to assume that you have no business knowledge, no sales knowledge, and that you do not have persuasion skills. I have to make all those assumptions because my scripts have to work at a universal level. So influencers, you could use this script. Of course, if you're an influencer, you could use about any script, okay? But if you're not influential, this is the script for cold market on social media, okay? So I hope that's helpful. Quick tips on follow-up. I know I'm right at my hour here. Quick tips on follow-up. If you don't follow up, you really shouldn't be making any money. So I spent a lot of time, and I'm not saying that like a jerk or something. I'm just saying it's just standard business. So I spent some time with a big sales organization, and they do about $150 million a year. They are not network marketing, but they are an education-based company. They do about $150 million a year. And I asked the sales manager, I said, how much of your business, of that $150 million a year, how much is that from first contact? You reach out to someone, they just purchase. Now, this is a sales organization. They teach sales, they eat sales, they sleep sales, they tattoo sales on their back in Old English, right? They eat, breathe, sleep, smoke sales, okay? That's what they do. Out of $150 million a year, 2% from the first contact. 98% of their money comes from follow-up. So if they are experts at sales, if they're amazing at sales, if they're the sales guru, and 98% of their money comes from follow-up, maybe we can take a page from that book. Maybe we can realize that we are making 98% less than we should be if we're not following up, at least 98%. Because do you think they're better at the 2%? Probably. Probably. So maybe we're making 99.9% less than we should be if we're not following up. And here's what I know. If you suck at sales, let's be honest. Hey, some do. When I started, I sucked. I had to get better. I improved. You're seeing someone who invested a lot of money to get better. Now, my wife, natural. She just walked on a stage and she was just a celebrity. She was just a rock star. Natural. She got natural talent. I didn't have natural talent. I've literally sucked at everything I've ever tried, but I'm just too stubborn and bullheaded to quit. I just keep going and I keep improving. I Energizer Bunny here. And so if you suck at sales, but you're good at follow-up, you'll make plenty of money. Bad follow-up, better than no follow-up. And so you got to get good follow-up. And we have, I don't really have time to go into it, but we have a, I'll talk a little bit about our group, Rank Makers, but in Rank Makers, in the units tab, we have two things in there that I think are very helpful. One is on follow-up. It's called My Crazy Follow-Up. So I believe in the I follow up until they pass away plan. Okay. If I read their obituary, I mark them off my list. That makes no sense. Why continue? Right. I mean, maybe someone receives the follow-up, but I tend to think we're done here. Right. And so I follow up until they pass away. And that may mean years. There are people I followed up with for years that eventually joined and even created success. There was a gentleman in my team, Steve, that I followed up with him 7 times. 7 times. Kept following up with him. Hey, man, he went on to not only become a 6-figure earner, he actually left his job that he hated. He had been in a job working for his father-in-law and hated it. If I only followed up 6 times, he's still at that job, I bet. I truly believe that. I believe he's still at that job if I follow up 6 times. 7 times. Signs up, becomes a 6-figure earner, leaves that job. And now he's crushing. He's doing a great job. And so in the units tab of Rank Makers, we have something called My Crazy Follow-Up. And then when it comes to closing, okay, closing, we have in the units tab, we have My Closing Blueprint, which literally, and I know Pete, you've gone through it. We go through every single scenario. Okay. If they didn't watch the video, say this. If they watched the video and they hated it, say this. If they went through the video, liked it, ask these questions. And here's how you get to the close. It's a formula. It's like, that's the blueprint of how to close. And it does start with the use of a tool. And a tool could be hotel meeting, could be webinar, could be Zoom, could be video, whatever you use. I tend to use videos because that's extremely duplicatable and leverage. But that's around closing. I think, the thing that I would encourage you to embrace around closing, you do not have to be pushy at all. I'm not pushy. And so I manage, and that's part of posture. I manage the energy. And so if someone tells me, I could never do this kind of thing, I'm like, oh, well, you may be right. And usually they want to prove me wrong. Well, I was a, top scorer in Top Golf, right? Oh, okay. Usually they try to argue with me and they're like, all of a sudden they can do it. And I go, well, okay. Right. And so I'm not pushy. I'm not trying to cram it down their throat. I'm honestly asking questions to see if they want to change their life or not. And so I know I went a few minutes over here, but I hope this was helpful. We do, like I mentioned, we do have a group called Rank Makers. That's my private community where I go live every single day. I created it because Honestly, I was sick of only 5 to 10% of people succeeding in network marketing. And because that's what I would see. We would roll out a new book, we'd roll out a new course, we'd roll out a new whatever, and we would get testimonials from the percentage of people that were doing it. But I thought maybe there's a different way to do it. Now, I took on more work, not less. I took on more work by launching this group 2.5 years ago. And honestly, we didn't know if it would work. It was a total test run. I mean, we were prepared to shut it down after 90 days if it didn't make sense. But we started to have people rank advance. Deb Smith, 5 years in network marketing, gets her first customer. People started rank advance. So since we started tracking, which was early 2018, we've helped create over 7,700 rank advancements. If you'd like to check it out, it is an investment. We wanted to keep it affordable so that it didn't battle with auto ships. It didn't battle with, some kind of major, purchase. It's $20 a month. It is no contract. If you join at $20 and you follow the steps, because we do a daily action step, if you follow the steps for 14 days and you don't think it's the best investment you've ever made in any training you've ever done in any industry, just ask for your $20 back. We'll give it back. Seriously. And so we pride ourselves on, just like today, I think I've shot straight with you. We're not fluffing you. We do track our rank advancements. We track our customers. We track reps, and we are very much about production. I'm not about impressing you. I'm about production. So we know that we can get you to produce more families will be impacted. And the thing about closing that I wanted to say is, if you don't put in the effort and the work to get better at closing, you're robbing families. Because if my buddy Chris didn't invite me to that meeting, I don't know what I'd be doing today. I really and truly don't. I don't know. Would I be back at a job? I don't know what I would be doing. I'm very grateful that not only did he reach out to me and ask the question, but he put me in a situation where I had the choice to change my life, and I did. And so you getting better at closing is the best thing that this world can possibly have, because with your opportunity, they at least have a possibility. And there's a lot of people out there on their hands and knees every single night, wishing for opportunity, wishing that things could change, tired of leaving their family at home while they drive around Uber and hope they don't get an axe murderer in there. And if only they had another option. And the way we get that is by helping you become your best self. And we like to think that we do that in Rankmakers. And so we did actually create and you are the first company, I realize it's the first company that we created a custom page for. We have custom links out there, with other companies, and we have some companies that have incorporated Rankmakers into their process. But we actually made a little custom page for you. And so if you go to higdongroup.com/mint, higdongroup.com/mint, you can learn the details. Don't take my word for it. Read some of the testimonials. It is risk-free. If you spend the $20 and you don't think it's awesome, and by the way, we now have an app. So you can actually go with the app and you can search it. You can watch all of our videos. You do not and should not try to catch up and watch all videos, because I don't think at this point you can, because I've gone live in there every single day for 2.5 years. But check it out. If you want to get better at closing, go to the Closing Blueprint in the Units tab. If you want to get better at follow-up, go to My Crazy Follow-Up. If you want to learn how to do Facebook Live, do the Facebook Live formula in the Units tab. But I hope this was helpful either way. We'd love to see you in the community, obviously, but whether you do it or not, I hope this was beneficial to you.